Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And I got to do this quickly because I forgot to charge camera. Well, it's not really a camera, it's a phone, but I forgot to charge Pixel 5 to record this video. So I only got a little bit of time left of battery before it dies out. So what I wanted to talk to people about really quickly is a whole T-Mobile hack. I want to address some things and just be on a very logical point. Just address this thing. So I'm just gonna get right into it. Whether it offends people or it doesn't offend people, it's just not something that I'm too worried about. All right. So T-Mobile was hacked again. Customer information, private information, has more than likely been taken again. And people are gonna start turning up with weird things on their credit, weird things charged to their credit card, or weird things charged to their bank account. All because, like I joke about it, about T-Mobile having Game Boy level security. And that's just my reference to them. It's just like, how does this keep happening to you? Like, like it's one thing if it's like the very first time, very second time, very third time. You're kind of like at the third time, you're kind of like, okay, like you've had this done to you multiple times before. You should have already had this as a priority to get straightened out. I think we were like, what, six times T-Mobile's been hacked. And, now customers got to worry about all kinds of information being taken. They also have to worry about canceling auto pay or removing, or contacting their financial institution and changing account numbers, not wrong numbers, but account numbers and, card numbers, having to increase some sort of security to their financial banking, and even then having to put a credit lock on them. So then that way, any other company that has a customer's information being ran for credit, they can, they could protect their credit from being run. You know what I mean? Hard inquiries on credit is damaging, especially if you're not wanting to use your credit for something. It becomes a very big problem. So, T-Mobile, I mean, like, I don't have anything against T-Mobile. And the reason why I say that, and I feel weird having to say that, because there are going to be some people who think that I'm against the brand. There's a lot of loyalists to that brand that come out and they just start swinging for the fences. And it's like, and I'm going to be straight with a lot of you guys, and I mean this with, I don't mean this with like to be disrespectful, but a lot of you who are swinging for the fences for T-Mobile, you sound ridiculous. Nothing that you say has merit, holds water. Nothing that you say, because there's nothing right about a company's inability to secure customers' information. It's just, there's no way to spin that. There's no excuse to spin it to back that company. Like, I get it. You like T-Mobile, you love the brand, you want to show your dedication to the brand. By all means, rock all the magenta shirts you want, rock all the magenta Crocs you want, wear the hats, whatever it is. I have friends that are diehard T-Mobile, fans, and they represent for the brand all the time. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Totally fine. Totally up to you what you do in your life and everything like that. But when you have different content creators coming to YouTube and talking about this, doing a podcast to inform the masses out there exactly what we know, exactly what may have happened, and what they could do to protect themselves, and then you have the loyalists come in and say, oh, well, you're a T-Mobile hater and da-da-da-da. I'm writing this long story. And it's like, why even attempt to try and shut down various different creators that are talking about it? You're not hurting the creators. You're hurting the everyday person out there, the one who may have saw it on CNN or NBC or Fox, or maybe they read it on a website, and so they started YouTube searching. They're the ones that want to know, what should they do? What things? Because not everybody's born with the manual to life to know exactly what they need to do. Not everybody. Not everyone knows that, oh, I should go and contact, the credit agencies and put a lock on my credit. Like, it doesn't come to their mind. And sometimes, just having someone talk about it in a video kind of like tells them, like, oh yeah, I should go and do that. And they quickly get online and contact, the credit services and put a lock on their credit. So that way, because we don't know how much information was taken. Like, we can't just say, yeah, there was 144,000, debit cards taken. Like, we can't put a number to it. T-Mobile's not going to like be upfront and tell everybody what the number is, you know. And this is like what, the sixth time that T-Mobile has been hacked, sixth or seventh time. You know, the first time, okay, yeah, you know, it happened. Like, what can you guys do better to protect customer information? Second time, okay, now you're kind of like, you know, you're kind of slacking there, right? Third time, there should never be a third time. There should never be a third time or any beyond that quickly in that amount of time, right? It should not be that many times. So when we say this and when we make these videos and we talk about it, one, we're trying to help people so that way they can figure out what they need to do to protect themselves. If they got to contact their financial institutions and start changing card numbers and account numbers, they need to go and do that. If it's their credit card on file, they need to notify the credit issuer that their card was in fact linked to their T-Mobile account. So if there's any suspicious activity, it needs to be watched closely. They got to do all these things. You got to remember, people have lives, daily lives. They go to work, they do what they got to do. They come home. If they got kids, they got to, you know, spend time with the kids, take care of the kids, and then they got to cook dinner for the entire family. And, you know, if there's laundry that's got to be done, they got to throw the laundry in. If you don't have the luxury of having a washer and dryer at home, well, then you got to drive to the laundromat and do laundry. People have a lot of things in their day-to-day life that they need to do. The last thing they really need to add on their plate is that they got to go and secure everything that has to do with their credit and their financials and their identity. Just because a company failed in something that they should be good at. T-Mobile's not a small company. They're not a little tiny company, a blip on the map trying to eke its way and become something big. They're big. They absorb Sprint. You know, their household name. T-Mobile's been around for the longest time, you know. They're not something like, you know, Mobi PCS. And I bet some of you guys are going to Google what Mobi is to find out that it's actually a carrier home based from Hawaii. But they're not as small as them. You know, T-Mobile has, you know, been around for a long time. Before they were known as T-Mobile in Hawaii, they were known as VoiceStream. They've been around for the longest time. So this is not a walk. This is not their first walk in the park when it comes to having a business and having customer private information and CPNI and protecting all that stuff. This is them failing in some sort of way to have something in place, especially since it's happened to them multiple times before. You would think that, you know, whether it's a sacrifice on network build out, they would invest money into cybersecurity and protecting their customers. That's their bread and butter. You can build the fastest 5G network in the world. You can have all the advancements. You can have the latest tech from Ericsson, from Samsung, from Nokia, and put it on your towers and get it out there and configure things. You could do all that stuff, but all that stuff is wasted money when you don't have a single customer connecting to your towers for services. What do you do then? Was all that money that you invested in the network worth it to have 0 subscribers using your network traffic? No. Look, I get it. Some of you who come into the defense of T-Mobile, you guys do see different content creators who have shown a little bit of being biased, and I get that, okay? And you'll know who they are, but you don't have to ride for defense of T-Mobile, okay? That's T-Mobile's going to handle business. They're going to do what they need to do, okay? What we need to be doing is watching them closely to see, are you finally going to take cybersecurity much, much more seriously and protect your customers' information? Above all, you don't have a business if you don't have customers at the end of the day. You don't have a business if you don't have customers. Okay. And at this point right now, from what I'm seeing, there are a lot of people who have given T-Mobile that opportunity to try and beef their cybersecurity to protect their information, now have lost faith in the company. That is their given right to just say, okay, 6 times is way too many times. I'm gone. I'm going to Verizon, I'm going to AT&T, or maybe I'll go prepaid and go to Mint, go to Google Fi, or, you know, go to something else. That's their right. When you see those comments, you don't need to flame them because they're leaving T-Mobile. They're not abandoning anything. And if you want to say that they are abandoning something, well, then T-Mobile abandoned them for failing to protect their information as a customer. Okay, strip out all the brand loyalty and all that stuff, and let's talk like a human being for the last minute of this video. As a customer, you have the right to make sure that your financial information and your information and identity is protected. You have the right to know that a company is protecting the information you're providing to them. so you can have service with them. Remember, really, at the end of the day, if you strip it all down, they don't really need your credit information and all that stuff for you to have phone service if they really wanted to. All that stuff comes into play when they want to be able to run your credit to give you a discount on a device, give you a discount on, an IoT or some other thing, or even to just see if you're reliable to pay your bill, because they don't want to be setting up accounts for people that tend to just like squander their accounts and not pay their bills on time, or just not pay it at all. And then, because it does cost money to open accounts and start services. It costs money to do all that stuff. So, at the end of the day, let's just be realistic about things, okay? We're not trying to tarnish T-Mobile's reputation, and I'm going to be blunt here. They're doing a fine job themselves, tarnishing their own reputation. It's not that I have anything against T-Mobile. I can't trust them. I can't trust them. It's just like one of the reasons and decisions that I left Metro by T-Mobile.